Hello there and welcome back to my channel. It is the Friday before the first week of school. So I thought today we could take a look at how I plan out my music lessons. Now before we begin, there's a couple things you need to know. One, I'm a teacher at two different buildings. One of my buildings is K-3 and the other one is 4th and 5th. I have 5 sections of kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, 4 sections of 4th and 5th. I also have after school choir 2 times during the year. So there's a lot going on. I see my K-3 students for 45 minutes once a week. I see my 4th and 5th graders for 50 minutes once a week. So I am stretched pretty far this year. So we're gonna take a look at how I am planning from the big, looking at the full year, to the small everyday lessons. So I'm a big fan of Google Sheets, and this year I decided to change what my plans look like. Typically, I have my lessons for the day of on Google Slides, and we'll talk about that in another video, but this is about the big picture. So this year what I did is I made our school calendar all on the first tab of my Google Sheets. So everything that's highlighted blue, that is summer break. And then to the side here, you'll notice I have the dates 1 through 31. Anything that is kind of a dark gray are the weekends. Anything that is black means that date does not occur during that month. And then things like breaks or no schools are highlighted in orange. My music counterparts at the middle school and high school have already put in their dates for their performances, so I wanted to make sure I had those there. Because of me needing to I do a choir concert and 2 choir concerts, and I usually do family fine arts night with the art teacher. I need to know when to and to not schedule those. I work in a small school district, so everybody does everything, which makes it hard to plan and schedule things. So we just hope for the best. We have our first student day. So this is just kind of an overview of what the whole year looks like. If I really wanted to do themes in my classroom, I don't typically do the first 9 weeks is all about barnyard. I know some teachers do that. They have a theme for each 9 weeks. That's just never been my jam. I kind of do things a little bit differently. We should probably talk about what curriculum I use. Let's flip over to kindergarten. I use the Feierabend method when I teach music. So for kindergarten, really kindergarten through 5th grade, I use First Steps in Music or some semblance of First Steps in Music as my guide. And you'll see that here because I have my vocal warm-up, my fragment songs, simple songs, arioso, movement exploration, move-its, beat motions, finger plays and action songs, and then finally song tails. We get through this whole workout in one lesson. Sometimes we add some extra things in too. To the side here, you'll notice I put which week of the school year it is and which month it's in, which is important, especially when you are planning things like if you're going to do any type of holiday songs, if you're allowed to do that at your school. I like to make sure I know when those are coming. Also, I like to use it for when I'm going to do my composer of the month, things like that. So you can see for the first 9 weeks, I've already added quite a bit in for kindergarten. I've also put in when I'm doing group singing and when I'm doing solo singing. It doesn't mean that those things don't adjust. It's just where I think this is going to land during my year. From here, I can take these. First of all, it's a nice one-stop shop where I can see exactly all the things I'm doing instead of having to go slide by slide by slide by slide in my Google Slides. First grade looks very similar. Also, I did a freeze. If you don't know how to freeze on your sheets, you go to View and freeze, and then you can pick which rows and columns you want frozen. That way, as you're scrolling through, you don't lose. If you notice that top part is still there, you don't lose kind of the topics that you're using. You'll notice on some of these on week 9, I have grades finalized and ketchup and pickles. Ketchup and pickles means, let's say I have a class, because I have 5 sections of each grade level except for 4th and 5th. I have a class that is a little bit behind. Maybe they didn't get to solos on certain things at the same time as another class. So catch up is making sure I get those classes all caught up in that last lesson. That's why I didn't put anything extra there. Pickles means we can pick some extra activities for those students and for those classes that maybe have gone a little bit farther along. So you'll see I have a little bit more in 1st grade, and this is going to help me get ready for, when I go to my teacher work days, I know what I need to fill in. This is my 1st year doing it this way, but it's one of those things of I've always kept it in my head, and I just feel like there's going to come a time where someone says, can we see all of the things? They can now see all of the things that are going on in my head. 2nd grade is when I typically start conversational solfege. And if you don't know what that is the music literacy part of my curriculum. My 2nd graders, or my incoming 2nd graders, they're not quite ready to start conversational solfege yet. So we're going to kind of cultivate the soil a little bit more, as we like to say, and we're going to do a lot more prep work. And I'm thinking by week 4, this is my estimated guess, we'll be ready to start doing Unit 1 of conversational solfege. I just think they need a little extra time. And we'll also get to see how much marinating happened over the summer. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of development that happens from year to year. I always say I see the biggest growth between K&1 and 1 and 2. And there's just usually leaps and bounds between, being able to interact socially with each other, thinking about others and not just themselves, maturity. I see those big growths happen in that area. So they may surprise me, and we may be able to start conversational solfege a little bit sooner. My 3rd graders, you'll notice they've been in conversational solfege. So week 1, we're going to review Unit 1. Week 2, we're going to review Unit 2. And while we're reviewing, I'm prepping Unit 3. That's why you see simple songs and conversational solfege readiness. These are activities that are priming us for the next section of conversational solfege. You'll also notice that I have this frozen so that as I scroll down, I can see all the different things. Here you'll notice I don't have action songs as much, but playground games, song dances, and folk dances. 3rd grade has already done some of these, so we're reviewing them, and then up leveling. That's kind of the next thing. 4th grade, we've got some new stuff for them. They're also in a kind of the same boat. We got through Unit 1, 2, and 3. 3 is always one that I like to add a little extra time to. It is the pattern of in 6/8 of a dotted quarter note, eighth, and 3/8 notes. Or the syllables I use are do, dee, and do-dotty. So they tend to need a little bit more time with that. But you'll see we've got readiness activities because we'll be getting ready for Unit 4, which is our first melodic unit of conversational solfege. And I still have ketchup and pickle things, but this helps me see, okay, right at a glance exactly what I need to do. And 5th grade will be continuing recorders, and I'm changing how I'm doing it, but they're a good group to experiment new ideas with. I learned some things over the summer that I'm like, ooh, I want to see how they would do with it. And they're a great group that can adapt. And that's why I'm like, I have no problem saying, let's try this. Let's see what happens here. So you'll see, I still keep a lot of the first steps in music things going on. I do have a music book that we still have. It's older, but I do like them to have a physical book in front of them on occasion for certain songs. So I use it as extra repertoire. Everything else looks just about the same. So that is how I'm kind of viewing my big picture to little picture. In the next video, I'll end up showing you more of how I use Google Slides, or I should say the next lesson planning video. I'll show you how I use Google Slides to do my daily so that the kids can see what we're doing as well. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me and going through how I plan for the upcoming year, hanging out with my 2 doggos as well on this last Friday before school starts. But you know what? This year is going to be super joyful. I'm so excited to get back into the classroom and back with my students, and it's going to be a great year. I'll catch you in the next one.